Well, good afternoon. My name is Fabio Mura. I'm from a company called Vinova. I'll tell you a little bit more about us in a second. This session, however, is about broadcast TV and specifically the future of television in Brazil, journey to TV 3.0 and Paris Olympics live broadcast trial. So big, long title, but what I want to discuss during this session is what is TV 3.0 in Brazil. I don't know if anybody here is from Brazil, but I think, okay, good. You'll keep me honest. But I think it's a great example of the evolution of digital terrestrial television and the kind of mixing of broadcast and broadband to kind of enable new services to consumers. And I will tell you as well how us, together with other companies, are building the ecosystem necessary to then deliver these services, and a little bit of an update on a specific initiative. So what is TV 3.0? Kind of really briefly, this is the evolution of terrestrial television in Brazil, because they started analog with TV 1.0, analog black and white, and it evolved to the present day with TV 2.0 and TV 2.5, with the two standards that are being broadcasted in Brazil today. TV 3.0 is the next generation, is a step change. The numbers go 1, 2, 3 when kind of the standards change in a non-retrocompatible manner, and then you have this like 1.5, 2.5 stages that introduce new features, enhancements like color on black and white or HDR on SDR that are retrocompatible with the previous stage. Why a new standard? Well, if you go to the SBTVD forum website, you will see the decree of the government that issued the initial call for proposal that, calling for an interactive television, more personalization, better quality, immersive audio, personalized advertising and experiences, etc., etc. It's like it's a governmental decree. It's fairly cold, but it listed like some of those features. So I'm just wondering why Brazil needed a new terrestrial television standard when we started working in this. So I asked ChatGPT, of course, like everybody does. And I double-checked the answer to some of the like other sources and sites. But fundamentally, I learned, and I've been to Brazil multiple times since we started this project, it's a huge country, geographically massive and diverse. We're like a very diverse population, and digital terrestrial television, we see it in Europe, but it's a bit of a minimum common denominator, right? You want 100% coverage, and you have to coverage legacy equipment, new equipment, Ultra HD, HDR television, as much as the old HD television that people still have on their cabinets and they bought 12 years ago, but they still receive the signals from the terrestrial area. So, but especially in such a diverse country, population is changes. You need to cater for a tech-savvy audience as well as the rural population, providing reach to all of the audience to the same information. So, it is a challenge to provide a service that can cater for both. And having that in the digital terrestrial, I think this demonstrates it doesn't have to be the minimum common denominator that we see in other countries. So in order to do that, and here there is a bit of like technical details, but what the Brazilian SBTVD forum did is like scrapped like the technology stack they had for TV 2.0 and built a new stack from the application layer to the video coding, audio coding layer, interactive layer, the physical layer that used all new technology. So they went out and searched the best possible technology that can cater for the requirements of the Brazilian reality, right? I have a big red box around that 3 parts of the technology stack because this is where we've been involved, right? Is the video element of the technology stack of TV 3.0, which included 2 brand new technologies, 2 brand new MPEG standards, VVC or H.266, and a video enhancement layer called LCEVC or MPEG-5 Part 2, as well as HDR10 as the technology of choice for the high dynamic range. LCEVC, and here I spend a few words on LCEVC, because as Vinnova, we are like a major contributor to the standard, but also one of the implementers, and we participated in these projects to help other vendors enable the technology on encoding and on receivers. So it's an MPEG standard. It's not a codec per se, but it's an enhancement layer. So it adds a layer of information onto an existing channel. So it's kind of like a scalable delivery. So in this particular, you will see for TV 3.0, it's important that you have a layer of kind of delivery. There is a minimum common denominator of quality, and then you can add information for those receivers that are able to receive it. And it's codec agnostic, by the way, so it works with AVC and HEVC as well as it works with BBC. In this case, the TV 3.0 standardized it with BBC. But TV 3.0 is an OTA, OTT type of delivery. It's IP delivery, where it's over the air or over a broadband cable. So AVC and HEVC are still options for the delivery of services over broadband. And one of the peculiarity of LCEVC is a big long acronym, but it stands for Low Complexity Enhancement Video Coding, is the low complexity element. So it's like, few tools, but very tuned to a particular job. Okay, this particular job I highlighted here in these graphics. You see in black and white, just to highlight and the layers of information added by LCEVC. So you have a standard picture, it's a lower resolution picture. What LCEVC does, it carries in this enhancement layer a higher resolution, more detail, and it codes them so in an efficient way, right? It's not pure video, it's high frequency video, it's details, it's lines, it's dots. And this is what the LCEVC has been developed to encode efficiently. Okay, so as you can imagine, these two layers, then you have like, standard VCC, you can see at the bottom left perhaps, and then if you can receive the LCEVC layer, you will have better quality, higher resolution, more color, etc. So I think the Brazilian use case is important, because as the, DTT systems are diverse in kind of DVB, ATSC, etc., but it's the first system worldwide that, at least at the video level, combines these three technologies for the first time. So a brand new MPEG standards in BBC, a brand new MPEG standard in LCEVC, and HDR10 as the high dynamic range technology. Okay, easier said than done, right? You have all these new technologies, how many vendors in this whole kind of support them, right? On the encoding, on the decoding side, on the packaging, on the signaling, on the delivery. You will find that the number is actually growing, and it's growing. It's higher than it was last year, and it's higher than it was the year before. And the reason is that people in Brazil, the broadcasters, members of the SBTVD forum, kind of like worked out a roadmap to the availability of services. They knew from day one that it wasn't going to be immediate, but they also knew that they couldn't sit down and just wait for it to happen, right? So you will see here a roadmap to the availability of services in 26, like commercial services on air, with pilot services in 2025. But also you will see there is a number of different milestones starting in 21, 22, 23, that's marked like, important stepping stones to that availability. Why? Because, and we've been part of that journey, because proactively what some of these broadcasters in Brazil did is set milestones in which to progressively showcase more better support for the TV 3.0 technologies they selected. Right? They started in a lab in Tokyo, taking some of the 8K feeds from the Olympics and showcasing like, how it would look like in 8K using BBC. We moved on to the World Cup in 2022, where we had still a staged showcase with prototype equipment by SoC manufacturers and encoder vendors. Still lab pieces, but they were showing already the combination of some of these technologies and able to decode and encode the TV 3.0 technologies. We repeated it in Carnival, and next, and a major milestone really is the Paris Olympics in 2024, this year in July. Why are these events important? I think because they focus the minds. They're relevant because they provide a platform. But if you have to focus the minds and the attention of multiple vendors, that we're all busy, we're all doing different things, they're important stages for us to work towards. And also the dates tend not to move, and therefore, you're either in or you're out. So what are we trying to do for the Paris Olympics? So, and I speak plurally, not because it's us like at Vinova, but it's us together with encoder vendors, vendors of transmission equipment, vendors of SoCs, system on chips like the video chipsets, TVs and set-top boxes. Well, we're trying to get all of these technologies. It's a bit of an eye chart, but you find BBC support, BBC plus LCEVC, MPEG-H immersive audio, captioning, dash route delivery, same and equivalent support at the end user, all together, ready for July. And this is not ready in lab equipment. Like, we're moving on from showcasing little pieces of support, or here is an encoder that does VVC. Here's an SoC that does LCEVC plus VVC. No, but bringing together an end-to-end system where we will have live feeds coming in 4K from Paris, encoded with live encoders that you can find here in this hall. I have here a diagram with our logo and our plugin, because we will provide the LCEVC capabilities at the encoding end. These signals will be put on air and then decoded at the receiving end by kind of TV3 capable set-top boxes and TVs. Again, a little bit of a technical chart, but if you see, this is the same kind of technology stack that I showed before at the beginning of the presentation. For the first time in this journey to TV 3.0, this whole top part is meant to come together. So we're going to have receiver equipment that is able to decode the video technology stack, the audio technology, the caption, and also have this application layer that will provide the interactivity to the user. The user will be able to choose the audio, will be able to choose camera angles, etc. The only part that is still uncertain is the part at the bottom, which is the dash route support. For those of you who know the physical layer for the transmission in Brazil, so modulation, etc., the carriage has not yet been standardized. So that part is a stretch goal, let's say, whether we will have it in time for July. So like all things, the willingness of people and broadcasters is one thing. It's difficult to move these projects fast. As I said, we've been lucky. We've been working with willing vendors and providers of TV set-top boxes, encoders to add these technologies. These are movable dates, focus the minds, which is great. But, any help you can get to stick to those roadmaps and accelerate those roadmaps helps. So only the week before last, I was in Brasilia as well at an event held by the Ministry of Telecommunication, where the minister pledged funds and support to ensure that the first services for this TV 3.0 revolution really will happen in 2025. And this is important because, again, it's another one of those events that focused our minds. And here I'll show you a couple of pictures from the events. It was us together with other vendors that for the first time we had, a TV playing VVC with MPEG-5 LCEVC and HDR pictures. So you will find it here at the show as well. I'll tell you in a second where. We had the two services. This was not live on air, was done at the Ministry of Telecommunication, comparing what they have on air today, 1080i AVC, which today for global, for example, is running on 14 megabits per second, compared with the next generation of services. So better quality, better color, 2160p at almost half the bandwidth by using those new technologies. So the press was there, it made the news, and I think it really resonated within Brazil and kind of like as well confirm the willingness of all participants to really bring this home by 2025 and 2026. Where can you find out more? So, I'll be here. I can answer some questions at the end of this talk, but there is an MPEG-5 LCEVC showcase. So MPEG-5 LCEVC, as I said, we're promoting it as one of the companies that are developing products and solution using the technology, including TV 3.0. So if you want a TV 3.0 demonstration, booth 3454 is just down this aisle. But also we're showing showcases in social media, OTT streaming, XR, VR, cloud gaming, etc. So please come along if you're interested in these applications. And last plug, but important, if you want to know more for possibly a more authoritative voice in this space, Mauricio Felix, who's the Director of Infrastructure Technology at Global, will talk about the rollout plans for TV 3.0 at the LCEVC Showcase booth tomorrow between 2 and 3. Okay, and with this, I thank you. I hope you found it informative. The sessions are pretty tight, so I'll step off the booth, but if you can find me here if you need any more information on TV 3.0 rollout. Thank you.